Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the vlog. So we are in the garage because we don't want to waste any time. I'm going to get on with this vehicle, and today's objective is to get the engine out of the van. No 12 episodes for this. We're getting it out in this episode, and then we're going to discuss what we're going to do with the van. So let's not waste any further time. Let's get straight in and start taking the engine out. Okay, so we are back on the caddy. Last week we ended because we couldn't get these injectors off, but this week we got a secret weapon, and here she is. This is our injector remover kit with slide hammer. So hopefully we'll be able to get this out. My only concern is obviously if you look at this from this angle, you'll see that it's quite underneath that firewall, so that might restrict us. But what we do have is a little bit of swing on the engine. I've taken off the rear mount, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to swing it enough to allow us to get that slide hammer in there. Okay, so from the kit we've taken out this 27mm one, which fits on the injectors just fine. So that locks the right in. So what we'll do, because what we have to do is we have to remove the solenoid, then that will just leave the bottom part of the body, and then we screw one of these into the top and then slide hammer it out. At least that's the theory. So let's take off a couple of these first and see how we go, and then take it from there. As I expect with this van, everything's fighting you. So this bond here is just stuck, this bolt here, it just won't loosen, it's rounding off now. So I'm hoping that this will just come up when I take this injector out, but let's move on to now removing the injectors. So they all came up alright. Literally you just take the solenoid off and that is it. Now we just need to work on getting these out. Right, so it's time to get the old injectors out. So this is the tool that he uses, but if you look at the angle here, you can see that me putting this in here is going to cause some problems. So what this tool has is it has a flexible arm like that. So when I put my injector in, or my injector extraction tool in like that, I can do it at an angle and slide hammer it out. So we're going to put this in place like that and then pull it out, and that should be fine. I have tilted the engine slightly forward as well just to help. So that's on the jack at the moment. So let's get this inserted, and then we'll give the first injector a try. Okay, so the good news is the injector came up okay at the end, both of them. The bad news is we broke the little plastic clip in there, this bit there, so I have to replace that. But hey, but it came out. There's the injector, there it is, and all the crud that goes with it as well. So next I'm going to work on this one. I'm going to go work on this one here, and I'm hoping that this one comes out as a result of this one moving, because we can't get this top off here. But wow, what a difference using that tool. It's hard work, but there's no way that was coming out without it. So 2 done, 2 to go. Let's work on those. Okay, this proper stuck. Fortunately, after a bit of wiggling, it's managed to come loose. So I'm so happy about that, because that was going to be a problem. So we finally got this one out. We'll take that injector out of the way, and then we'll start working on the rocker cover and getting that off. But finally, all the injectors are out. This took me a good 25 minutes to get out off camera. For you, 30 seconds. For me, nightmare. But we're out, and that's the main thing. So let's crack on and carry on with the rest. Right, so cam cover is off. We're now going in for the big one. So this is the removal of the head nuts. If you're wondering, yes, the cam belt is already removed. So we are now just going for the head. Now I'm hoping that I don't have to remove the plastic trims, because sometimes these plastic trims are bolted to the actual head, and you have to undo the crankshaft pulley. Hopefully that won't be the case here. I've not checked, I'm just going in blind here. So we'll remove the bolts, that one, and just work our way across, and then we'll be able to check and see what's going on with the gasket. So once we remove this, hopefully this will then allow us to see what we are all dying to see, which is what's going on down there. And I'm hoping that the actual head, the turbo at the back as well, I might have to do some jiggery pokery with that. In fact, I will have to, not might have to, will have to. Let me see, I'll probably have to do that first. Yeah, I'll sort that out first, then we'll get on to I'm gonna go with the head bolts, and then we'll move those after. Yeah, let's go. Right, change of plan. There are too many bolts behind this to get the head off. So the turbo is attached. You've got the oil pipes that go down. I can't get to them from this angle, and I can't lift the van up anymore to get to it. So it's actually going to be easier for me to just take the engine out. It's a couple of bolts, and then we can work our way through it. There's a few pipes in the back there, but I'm not worried about that. So we've got our trusty table in place. Let's now just got to basically undo all some of the wiring, and then we'll get down and get this engine out, and then we can get to the head. I am going to still get to this head because I'm determined to see what's going on underneath there, but in order to do this properly, we need to get this engine out. So let's do that. Right, so here's where we are. I've just disconnected the drive shaft. You can probably just see him down there. So he disconnected. So all we need to do now is disconnect the gear linkage, and then we're going to take off the actual gear mount, because that'll be easier than trying to take it out of this contraption here. So there's 3 bolts in that, 1, 2 and 3 at the back, and I think that should be, no, just remember hydraulic clutch. It's got a hydraulic clutch, see that? So we need to disconnect that as well. So let's get that sorted. What I might do in the hydraulic clutch is actually disconnect the whole clutch assembly. Might be easier to do that, otherwise we've got to bleed the clutch, which isn't a problem to be fair, but I can do without that for now. So we will we'll work that one out in a second, but we'll do these 3, and then literally all we have to do after that is take out the 2 engine mounts there. So we'll probably take off the water cap, and then that should be it. Engine should be free. Right, all done. Clutch is now disconnected. So, and also we got our gear selectors, they're also disconnected as well. So this side is all done, literally just a couple of bolts here, and that engine is going to drop like a stone. Now we just got to deal with this side. So we've got to take out the expansion tank, the fuel reservoir, this thing here. Everything is disconnected from here, so we'll just literally loosen that so that we can drop, get access to the 2 bolts that hold that side. I suppose we could do it from here, but we're going to change this bottle anyway because it's all sooted up and we need to get a new clear one, so might as well take it off while we're here. So let's do that. Right, so water bottle is off, and as you can see, covered in oil. Right, so we've only got 2 bolts holding this engine in place now. Literally just 2 bolts. Everything else is loose. I say 2 bolts, it's actually 4 bolts. Those 2 there and those 2 there. So what we're going to do now is just have one more double check, make sure that everything that should be loose is loose, and I'm pretty happy that they are now. So I guess we drop the engine. This is going to be a little bit dodgy because I think most of the weight is on the back there, and I just need to be careful that when we drop this that it doesn't fall back. I mean, it doesn't matter if it falls back or not, but it's just trying to get it onto this platform so we can pull it forward. Once we can pull it forward, then we can get those 2 bolts to the back and then take a look and see what's happening with this gasket, which I believe is well and truly blown. But it doesn't matter, we are replacing this engine. I've now made an executive decision with all the stuff that's happened with this. It's just no point trying to salvage it. Even though it might be salvageable, I will be much more comfortable with replacing it with a new engine. And the new engine that we got, fantastic deal. Anyway, we'll come on to that in a moment. Let's get this engine out. And there you have it. Engine is now out in less than 12 episodes. That wasn't too bad, was it? Actually, it wasn't bad taking this engine out. It was as easier than I thought it was going to be. Okay, so we've got just one casualty of war. Don't know where that is, but we broke these wires here, so we'll have to figure out where that goes. But this turbo may not be going back into this, because look at that. Although the turbo itself I think is okay, but it's really gummed up. So either we give this turbo a really good clean up and mate, or we'll replace it with something else. That is something you're going to find out in the next episode, because this is it for today. So we've achieved our objective. Engine is out, and now let's talk about what the plans are, because earlier on I spoke about getting the head off and repairing this, but we've got a new plan, and let's talk about what that is. Alright, so the original plan was to fix this engine, get a new head gasket kit, and then just give it a complete rebuild. But I've decided against that, and there's a couple of reasons why. Number one, I don't know what else could be wrong with this engine. I mean, this engine has been royally abused with the amount of oil that was in there. It's just been really neglected, and I wouldn't want to put that in there thinking to myself what else could be wrong with it, and obviously selling a vehicle and having problems afterwards. So the best choice I think is to replace the engine. I've actually managed to get an engine. It's done less than half the miles that this vehicle has done. I did have one originally. I had to let that go because that was right up in the Isle of Scillies, which is like ridiculous cost to get it down here. But I found another one, and it's coming with a turbo as well, hence the reason why we're not going to reuse that turbo. So I'm well happy with that. That's going to be here sometime hopefully next week, and then we'll start stripping this engine, and then the good bits we'll put on the new engine. Plus we're going to fit a new water pump kit on there as well. So we're going to do the new cam belt, new water pump, and new rollers, the whole shebang. So it's all done and dusted and ready for fitting in the vehicle, and that should be pretty straightforward. At least that's the plan. So yeah, we've achieved a lot, achieved the objective that I wanted to today. If you're enjoying this kind of content, then don't forget to subscribe if you are a casual viewer, because so many of you are, and click on the bell notification so you're notified whenever we release a new video. So we're finally making some progress, and we will see you on the next one.